from what it was.
I know he wants me to comment. Let me just comment on something. Like,
accept the loss.
What happened? I want to narrate. How did we manage to win the Kabuchai?
He says we should not even claim it. It was an independent candidate.
But we are the people supporting the independent candidate. We are the one. The reason why did they shoot at us when we were campaigning for the independent candidate in Kabuchai? Why was the governor being targeted, George Natembea? We were in Kabuchai. Whom were you campaigning for? The independent candidate. Because we all agreed that, look, we are going to campaign for an independent candidate. The reason being, we had fought Kenya renegades. People didn't want any. If they were to campaign for some other candidate, they would simply be kicked out of the party for promoting the ideas of another party. So we all agreed that, look, we are going to campaign for an independent candidate. And I can tell you what we went through, we've never gone through that. The reason being, one thing, we were not allowed to campaign. The first time we were there, me, George Natembe, Wangamati, the area MP Majimbo Kalasinga, we were attacked. And that evening, there was a rumor circulating in Bungoma that our opponent had hired 300 gangs, 300 with crude weapons. 14 of them were armed. I even personally called the county commissioner. I told him, look, we are going to hold a meeting tomorrow, but we have information that we are going to be attacked. That morning, I still called that, look, you are in charge of the security committee. We are going to have a meeting tomorrow. We are going to be attacked. Do you know what they did? Nothing. We were attacked. We nearly lost our lives. But we had a resolve that, look, we must have a change in Bungoma. After that attack, the following day, we were stopped from campaigning because they had put gangs all over. And we said there was no need for us to lose life. Then what happened? Even our candidate submitted the list of his agents to IBC. After submitting that list, the night before the election, all our agents were attacked. The reason being, the IBC leaked that list to our opponents. So that evening, all our agents were attacked. They could not be there in the station. That morning, the candidate himself, when he went to cast his vote, he was attacked. His agents were kicked out. But you know, we had a reason. We said, even if they do that, we must win this election. We put measures in place. We put people there so that they would not allow them room to bribe voters. In fact, most voters are being bribed. Once you vote, you are given 500. But our people said, even if you are given 500, what the kind of violence we've seen will not allow the Ford Kenya to win. They would take 500, they vote for the opponent. In fact, even if you look at the stream where Moses Wetangula voted, we won. He could not win. In fact, some are saying that, look, he even ended up voting for the opposition. So what I'm saying is this, the level of violence that was in Bungoma, we had not seen it. But the people of Bungoma had a resolve to say, look, even if you do what, we have to vote for our candidate. And I would like other areas so that they don't get intimidated. But what I'm trying to ask the government, my brother Sosion, let's move away from Gunism. The reason being, shots were fired, nobody has been arrested to date. Our people are injured, nobody has been arrested to date. Gangs were moving around with crude weapons, nobody has been arrested to date. We have people who had guns because the shots that were fired were not fired by the police, were fired by some people. Have you seen anybody being taken to court? Nobody. What is it? It's impunity. Okay. So if we allow this impunity to move away, if we allow those crooks to move away with guns, what will happen in 2027? It will be a serious thing. So what I'm asking the government, it should be a lesson. They may have not won, but let them try to put law in order so that anyone who's going to vote, anyone who's going to campaign knows that, look, the police are going to be impartial. They'll not favor one side. But if you allow criminal gangs to take charge, we are going to move in another direction.
Kisa East, Narok Town, Kariobangi North, those were huge. And they gave a more or less nationalistic perception of the party, that it's not just in Mount Kenya. That to you is probably a much bigger win than any other?
That is what we have been saying. And we have been very consistent on it, Fred. And I can tell you the biggest party that is giving everybody headaches is DCP. That's why you see even all this confusion in Nairobi, why DCP, everywhere. And anything we are saying about even Nairobi, Fred, it's not by mistake. We mean what we are saying. Please, Fred, save me from Sosion. Always,
the microphones are picking everything you're saying.
He is now trying to rob my good friend Baraza here so that he can support him in the next conversation he's going to have. You are being here as a panelist. You must stand with your views without having to rob my friend Baraza here or on stage here. I'm saying, Fred, we have been saying something very consistently. The biggest headache right now is DCP. Now, combine that with DAPK, combined with Wiper, that is the biggest threat. and the fear everybody has. Remember, the system has access to NIS, and they are being told, this is what is going to happen. I'll give you an example. So we had 5 candidates in DCP. We fielded only 5. We got 3 out of 5 in a party which is not even formally launched, okay? Look at this. We never fielded, for record, the United Opposition never fielded candidates in Samburu. We had 17. We had 1 Senate. Let me give you a very quick analysis. I can tell you, in the next general election, that young lawyer in Baringo will take that seat. He made a very good show for himself. And that is president's backyard, to indicate people are tired with UDA. Why? Because they never did good nominations. Then Gideon Boy was, kicked out of the race, and the people are coming. Now, with 6 MPs, quickly, Banisa, they bought off our candidate. We're using 100 million shillings or so, right? Magarini, there are issues. You remember how my party leader said? That the vice chair of IBC met the governor there, and they never denied. Now, let's go to Uguja. Uguja, more or less. Kasipul, that gentleman who was landing on that party, the gentleman there who was supported by many, many people, including very senior people in government. That is the guy who was supposed to take that seat. But they said, because of the issue of Laira and all that, let's give it to him. But I can tell you in 27, Fred, you are going to see a lot of things about anti-government going to opposition. Now, the other, of course, Mbae, globally with violence, globally with violence in Marava, trying to win. But they forgot, Fred, if you want to test where people are, is MCA positions. Because that's where the people are. The UDA candidate in Kariobangi was number 4. The ODM candidate in Kisa East was number 9. What is that telling you? Look at Narok, where the people are. They couldn't concentrate on everything. If you want to steal, then steal even for MCA, so that people can say, oh, you won also here, and you won the MP. There's no way you can win the MP, and you don't win the MCA. So out of 17 MCA positions, United Opposition took 9. The only place we fielded and we lost came a second, number 2 second, is Pulko Ward. We lost with about 100 votes. Magarini MP, we lost very few votes. Now, what is that telling you? We never fielded candidates, MCA candidates in Samburu, in Nandi, in Tana River, in Garissa, in Elgeyo Marakwet, Uasin-Gishu, and Turkana, because we wanted to be strategic. So what we are saying is this: the force on the ground is the issue of we are starting. That's where the people are. Why? Let me ask you today: how comes you go win after spending 400 million in Mbae, but UDA loses MCA seat in Kariobangi? We are now stamping our foot in Nairobi. We are in Kajiado. We are in Narok. We have done Kisii, where we took 3 seats. And something interesting happened last night. The broad-based people, including my good friend who sits in State House, his work is special projects, which means everything under the sun. He tweets and says, now what happened, the 3 MCAs from Nyamira, they were photographed with Governor Nyaribo, right? And they all said, the spin doctors came and said they have joined the broad-based government. Now, whether that was supposed to intimidate Nyaribo because of his Senate appearance yesterday, after he survived the impeachment, he said, no, me, I'm not aware of that. Yet the spin doctors of government had claimed that the 3 MCAs are broad-based. They said no. Right now, 2 are from UPA. Nyaribo is a party leader. 1 is from PDP, Omino Magara. I can tell you seated here today, and I want to give Kenyans hope because that's why we are here. Please, don't be shocked or being sold fear because of Mbae and Marava. I can tell you this: the people of Kenya, Fred, you cannot go against the power of the people. When 15 million, 20 million Kenyans decide to go this direction, all across the country, from Mount Kenya, of course, Mumbuni we took, Mumbudi in Machakos, that is Ukambani. We have put our footprints properly in the Maasai nation. We are in Kisii, we are in Western, we are in Mijikenda. I can tell you we have very good people coming from Luo Nyanza and from Rift Valley and Northeastern. That is the hope I want to give our people, that this was a good thing because we have learned what they are planning to do, but the power of the gun and the tear gas and all that will not stop the people of Kenya to vote the way they want to vote.
Yes, Bwana Sossion, I know you wanted to